G'day, RG crew. Hope you're having a fantastic day today and your family's happy and healthy. All right, I'm going to show you the easy peasy way to create your own paint jobs. And before we do that, we'll get a few things out of the way. Number one, we've recently started a VTC, which is a virtual trucking company. It's called RG Transport. And if you're interested in joining that, there will be a link down below, and we'll explain exactly how to go about that. We have great fun with the VTC. We do convoys, we do events. And in fact, this weekend coming, we've got on Sunday, we've got a convoy with a difference. It's going to be a drag strip convoy where we're going to drag trucks, race trucks. We're going to race on a racetrack, and we're going to do a derby, last man standing. But yeah, so if you're interested, like I say, click that link and away you go. The other thing is, if you've got any questions about anything, you can join the Discord. Again, link in the description. And if you haven't subscribed already, you might as well. It's free. It helps me out tremendously. And if you're looking for ways to support the channel or the group, the links will be down below. Okay, so like I say, we're doing the easy peasy way to do your own paint jobs. And I try to always look for the simplest way to do anything. What I'm showing you here is just a simple logo placement that I've placed over the top of an existing paint job in the Hater Built series. So as you can see, the logo there is on the door. I did this just as a simple demo to show you what you can do. And what I'll do in a tick is I'll show you how to, like I say, create your own paint jobs. But for now, I'm just going to show you the ones that I've done on existing paint jobs. I do not take credit for these paint jobs. These were in the Hater Built mod. And as you can see, I've just placed logos on them so that our VTC can be displayed prominently if we're using these paint jobs on trucks when we're in convoy or whatever. As you can see, I've moved this one from the door to here because it had to be quite small to fit in this area. So I thought I'd move it here and show you, and just show you that it works on all, well, I picked the wrong one, didn't I? On all the different chassis, cabin types. I'll go through them and show you. It even works on bay cab on one side. You can see it works, as you can see, it works on all different size cabs, and it's quite easy to do. So what we'll do is we'll go now into the programs that I use. I only use 2 programs. That's all that's needed is the 2 programs, and then you're off and running. So we'll hop out of here to the first program that I start with, and that is, so yes, it's called Paintjob Packer, and the link to it will be in the description below. I'm not going to show you how to install it or download and install it. That's quite simple. Okay, so once you've downloaded and installed it, you then open it up, and this is where you'll come. You'll see this page here, this bit here. And you can choose your language. If you're in a different language, you can choose your language, and it is translated automatically for you. So then you click Next. You choose which game you want to put the paint job in. All right. I'm going with American Truck Simulator in this one. And then you can choose whether or not you want to do it in a pack or a single paint job. Now, if you do it in a paint pack, that means you're choosing multiple trucks that you want to put the paint job on. It's more involved, naturally, because there's more trucks that you've got to paint. So for this display purpose, we're just going with the single paint job so that you can see exactly how to do it. And then if you choose, you can go with the pack or the single one later on. Right, so then you, like I say, now that I've chosen single paint job, I click Continue. And this is where the magic happens, okay? So here we'll call it Demo. Oh, isn't that original? Okay, and the author is me, RG, okay? You can put a different version number or whatever you want in here. We'll call the paint job name itself Demo again. Whoa, okay. And then the price, you can choose any price you want. I'm going to go with $1. You can choose to have it unlocked by default, or unlock level, meaning if you want somebody to be at level 50, you would type in 50 there. And, well, you have to untick that first, and then you can type it in there. But I'm going to let it be unlocked by default so that you can use it anytime you want. Okay. Internal name. I'll pop this little window open here so you can see what it says. A unique name used by the game to identify your paint job. Users will not see this name. Must be 12 characters or fewer and only contain letters, numbers, and underscores. Very important that you get that, because if you don't do this, it won't work. All right, so read that, make sure you follow the instructions, and then away you go. Must also be unique. If two different mods use the same internal name, they will be incompatible with each other. So you've got to make sure it is unique. It has to be totally different to any others that you've created in the past. So now you click OK, and you put your internal name. I'm going to call it Demo. Whoa, look at that, something different. And then down here, this is where you might get confused. Because you're using a single paint job, it's asking you, do you want it on the largest cabin only? Which means that you'll only affect the largest cabin in the cabin choices. Or do you want it on all cabin sizes? I'm going to go with all cabin sizes, because then it creates a paint job for all the cabin sizes. Now, be warned that because it's choosing all cabins, or because I'm choosing all cabin sizes, it may look funny on some of the jobs if you aren't careful. But we'll get to that later. Okay, so down here it says, don't split one per truck, split one per cabin. Now I'll open this up so you can read what it says here. Whether to make a single paint job for each truck or to split it up and make one for each cabin. A single paint job per truck requires less work and results in a smaller mod size, as you only need to make a single cabin texture for each truck. However, your design might not work across all the different cabin sizes. For example, your design could look correct on large cabins, but be positioned incorrectly, stretched, cut off on smaller cabins. Split paint jobs allow you to tweak your design to work for each cabin size, but require more work and result in a larger mod size, as you need to make separate textures for every cabin, whether they need them or not. All right, I'm going to go with the single so that I don't have to do as much work. All right, so I'm going one per truck so that I don't have to do as much work. All right, then over here you choose what you want to change, because this is available on your trailers and your trucks. It covers basically all the default trucks in either ATS or ETS2, basically all the trailers, default trailers, and a great number of truck mods. Unfortunately, it doesn't cover every truck mod and doesn't cover every trailer mod, because there's just way too many, but it covers the main ones. In this situation, we're going to go with the Haterbuilt or Viper 2. It's the same truck. Haterbuilt or Viper 2 is the one I'm going for. So we go down here to Peterbilt. We find Peterbilt Modified Viper 2. All right. So now we've got all this correct. And again, read all these things if you're in doubt and follow it step by step. Make sure you get this all right, because if you don't, it won't work correctly for you. Then over here, choose the truck that you want to do it on. Now comes the magic. You just simply click Generate and Save, and it will ask you, do you want to generate files for Steam Workshop upload? And that's if you want to use it as a mod that you can release on the workshop, or do you want to use templates instead of empty placeholders? What that one means is that you're going to use it in local files, and I'm just going to use it as a local file because the paint job's just for me. All right. Then what you need to do is you need to change the directory, because you want to name the directory something unique. All right. So we're going to put it in here under skins, and we're going to, because you can see I've got different ones in here, we're going to put a new folder. We're going to name it, guess what? Demo. Okay. And select that folder. So now it knows where to put all the files for us. So use templates instead of empty placeholders, or you can generate files for the Steam Workshop and upload them. But we've changed the directory. Now we can generate. And once it comes to this point, it tells you your mod has been generated and placed in the directory that you chose inside a folder called Paintjob Packer Output. Your mod is not yet finished. Refer to the text file inside the folder for instructions. There is also a guide on the GitHub page, and again, there'll be a link to that in the description. So now we know we've got to quickly look at, or slowly look at, the instructions in the folder. So we click OK. It closes that. We now go to that folder, which is in here, 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 and demo. Okay, and inside here is how to. So you go demo, Paintjob Packer, or whatever the name it is, Paintjob Packer output, and this is the file that you need to read, and tells you the instructions on how to complete your paint job. So it says here, your mod has been generated, places like blah, blah, blah. To test your mod as you make it, move the demo folder to your games mod folder. Okay, so put it in your games mod folder so that then when you make changes to it, the changes will be reflected in the game. Then you can change these files or images. Mod manager image, this shows up in the mod manager, and you can just copy over it and put your own image on it. I'll show you how to do that after we've done this. And it explains some other stuff here, which is quite self-explanatory, and once you read it, you will understand it. Now, once you've done that, you know where that folder is. You can come back to it. Now, the other program that I use is called Gimp, but you can use any paint program that recognizes and can decrypt and use .dds files. It must be .dds compatible. I use Gimp because it is, and it's easy and simple. So now I go to Gimp, I go to Open, we go to that folder again in Skins, Demo, Paint Job, Demo. Now this is where it gets confusing, because now you've got to go to Vehicle, Truck, Upgrade, Paint Job, Demo, Modified, and there it is there. So again, I'll go right back to the start. Inside the Skins folder, where it is, Demo, Paint Job Packer, Demo, Vehicle, Truck, Upgrade, Paint Job, Demo, Peterbilt, and there it is there. That's your .dds file. Now again, like I say, it's I can't understand why there's so many different folders to get to it, but apparently that's the way it works, and that's how all paint jobs are. So anyway, once you've found that, you open it and you click OK. So here's your file, and what you're going to do is, the first thing you're going to do is put a layer over the top of it. So the reason we're going to do this is because we want to see this to give us a guide where we want to place things. So you want to put a design on the front fender. You'll be able to see this without affecting this actual template, so that you're not destroying it for later, if you understand what I mean. So I'll show you what I mean anyway. So we go to Layer. We'll make it a transparent layer. We'll go OK. You can't see it, but we're on it. If you look over here in the bottom right, you can see we're on that layer, which is transparent. So if I, for example, grab the pencil and I go like this, you're thinking, oh, he's just destroyed the template. But no, if I turn that off, you can see it's perfectly fine because I've used a transparent layer. Okay, so that has to be over the top, because if it's not, if I drag this down underneath and I do, whoops, and I do this, okay, it's ruined. But luckily, you've got an undo. So we'll undo the pencil. So you've always got an undo, but we're using a transparent layer at the moment so that we can see where we want stuff to line up. And you're going to use that transparent layer later as your paint job. I'll explain that in a tick. But let's get rid of that layer now that it's the way it is. We'll just delete it, delete layer. Again, this is how you do it down here at the bottom. And this is the Gimp program. You'll have to find out how to do it in your program if you're not using Gimp. So you need a transparent layer. We'll just click OK. We now have a transparent layer over the top. Now, for the purposes of this demo, I'm going to show you how I place my logo, and then I'll quickly do some scribbles on things to show you how they'll show up. Again, I'm not going to do a full-on paint job because it would take too long and you'd get bored. All right, so now here's my logo. I'm going to drag that over, drop it in here, and now I have to resize it so that I can put it in the position I want. To resize in Gimp, it's quite simple. You press Shift S and it brings up the resize or the scale window. We drag that down to about this size. Let's zoom in a bit more now that we're at roughly the size we want. We want to put it on this door section here. We'll now click on Move or M, and then we'll grab this, see if it's the right size. Still a bit too big, so Shift S. Okay, so what I'm doing here is making sure it fits in amongst those rivets. So the rivets on the door, that's showing me where the rivets are. And by memory, I know that there's a door handle here. So if I keep it as close as I can to these rivets, top and bottom, and to this left side here, I should be right. And to be more precise, I can now click on Move and use my my arrows on the keyboard to move it into position where I want it. Let's say there. Now I want this same logo over the other side of the truck, which is over here, but I know for a fact that's a door handle here. That's a window. It's going to be too, if I resize it, it's going to be too small to really see it. So I'm going to place it over here, like I showed you in the other images. So all I do is, keeping it the same size, I go to Layer, Duplicate Layer. There it is. And now, using the Move tool, I'll grab the duplicated one, bring it up over here, place it where I want it. Again, I'm just doing this quickly and roughly. So that's roughly where I want it. In fact, no, I think I'm going to want it more this way because I remembered that some of the cabins, the sleepers, are quite small. They're only about here. So if I've had it over here, it would be probably getting cut off. So I'm going to put it closer to the front of the sleeper so that it doesn't get cut off over here, and hope that it's in the right position. Again, this is all on the or above the transparent layer. So it's not affecting, if I turn these off, you can see it's not affecting anything underneath. All right, so now we've got the logos in position. What we'll do is we'll back out a bit, or zoom out, I should say, so you can see a bit better. And what I'll do, again, I'm just going to scribble on this. I know it looks weird, but this is just to show you. Whoops. I'm just going to scribble so you can see how things come out. Some different things. Again, this would be your fancy paint job, whatever you want to put on there. But I'm just showing you this so that you can see how it turns out. Okay, so now you've done all that, you're wondering, okay, it's going to come up with all these lines in the background. Well, no, it's not if you do this. So what you do now is you would choose another layer, get out of the way, another layer, and this time with a background color. We'll choose a different color up here. Let's go with orange so that we can discern it between the red and the orange. So we choose another layer, but this time we choose it with the foreground color because it was orange that we chose in the foreground. And we click OK. And as you can see, it's hidden everything. So now we have to move that. We move that down under there. And now you can see that all those scribbles are showing up and my logos are showing up. And if you want to go one further, okay, now you can see the template. But what we're going to do is we're going to do this. Okay, so once you've finished, let's put it back underneath. Once you've finished doing your paint job and you're pretty sure it's lined up, you can then put a base color over the top of it to hide those lines, if you understand what I mean. So now what you're doing is you're going to go, let's say it's finished, the paint job's finished. You now want to overwrite that file that you had, which is in this folder here. Okay, so you're going to export it. You're going to replace it. And this is where you've got to make sure that you've got the right compression and the right format. So you want to go in here. You want BC3 / DXT5. You want all visible layers. And you want to generate bitmaps. All right. So BC3 / DXT5, all visible layers, generate bitmaps, click export, and it will now export it to that file. So now once you've done that, we can go into that folder, paint job, and this one here, the full folder now is what you want. So you copy that, copy, and that's the folder there, the name of the paint job, that beginning folder straight inside your paint job. All right, demo. You now will place that inside Documents, American Truck Simulator, or Euro Truck Simulator, whichever you're doing, into the mod folder, and you paste that in now. Paste. And once that's pasted, it is now in your mod folder. You then go to the game, which we're going to have to back out into the title screen and place that mod in. Oops. You want to place that folder that we just created into the mod folder or mod manager and then activate it. All right, so now we go to the mods and stick around, because if you wait until the end, I'll show you how to change a few things to make it look professional. As you can see here, I've got the paint jobs shown on these ones, but there's nothing here. But if you stick around to the end, I'll show you how to fix that. So now we're going to put that in here. So I just double clicked it to bring it over here into active mods. Okay, so now we've put it with the other paint jobs that I've already created, and we confirm. We start the game again. And the beauty about this is you can actually keep the game open once that mod's been placed in to the mod folder and been activated. You can actually keep the game open while you alter it and go back to it rather than starting the game every time. And you can check it while in game. So you can check things for lining up or whatever. If you want to move it, you can move it. I'll quickly show you that too once the game started. Okay, in we go. And now if we go to paint jobs, it will show up in amongst paint jobs. Oop, there it is, demo. Okay, now as you can see, All my scribbles are there on the truck, on the roof, on the back of the cab. Again, I didn't line them up, but I lined the logos up pretty good. How's that on the back? Yeah, that's pretty good. And again, like I say, now that we've done it on one, it should work on all the different sleepers and whatnot. And I picked the wrong one. Okay, there you go. Yeah, as you can see, it's the colours are all there, logos are still there, all the different sleepers, everything's showing up, even on your day cab, because we don't have a sleeper on it. The logo's not on there, but everything else is. Okay, and ultra sleeper, it's all there. So you get the idea. Now, if you wanted to change that um, scribble there, or the logo, you want to put the logo on the front here, you can do that while in the game. We'll not close the game out. What we'll do is I'll go to my paint program. Whoops, got that many windows. Okay, now let's move it to some ridiculous place. We'll close that down so we can see where we're moving it to, just so I can show you that it works while you're in the game. Let's put it on the window. I've never tried this before, so it'll be interesting to see if it works. So now we'll save it, and we'll turn that back on. Now that we've moved that, make sure you save it into the mod folder. We'll go to the mod folder, American Truck, mods, find that folder, which is the demo one, and go through all the folders to find it. And there it is. And now we'll copy it or replace it. Make sure all those are correct again. Export. Now I'll show you it'll definitely be working. Go back in. And again, this shows you I didn't have to close the game down. Go to demo. This one. And now, yep, it's over the window. So that, just to show you that you can adjust it. Now, again, now that I know where to save it, because I made a mistake before, we'll go back to that paint program. We'll hide that so we can see where it's going. We'll move that now to above the sleeper. Here. And we'll save it. Export as. Make sure it's in your mod, which it is. Go export, replace, making sure they're all correct. Export. Now we can go back in the game. And if I get out of that, go back in. Now it's up on top of the, I forgot to put the orange on. Sorry, guys. Well, as you can see, it's there anyway. So what we'll do is do this. And again, we'll prove to you that it works. We'll turn the orange one back on. We'll go export as, make sure it's in the mod. Click on export, replace, export, and go back in the game. And click off, click back on. Now it should be orange. There we go. Okay, and as you can see, it's not completely in there, but at least now you know that if you put it there, it won't go over to that part. So you'd have to cut it in half and put the other half on that section in the template, if you get what I mean. So for example, quickly just to show you, turn that off. As you can see, the top of the, that's the top of the sleeper there. I'm guessing that's it. Yeah, that is it. Yeah, because that's the top of the cab. This is the top of the sleeper. So you would want to put half of this, if that's where you want it, which would be ridiculous anyway. But if that's where you want it, you want to put half of it over this side so it lines up with that. And that's where it gets a bit difficult, trying to line things up if they're in awkward positions. But you get the idea. Hopefully that explained it without it being too confusing. I'll put it back there. Again, I'm just dropping it in there. Turn that back on. And I'll just show you that it'll be back in the right position now. Export, make sure it's in the mod, export, replace, and make sure all the settings are correct, export, back into the game, click off of that. Now if we click back on it, it should be in the right position, back, well, roughly, you know what I mean, because I didn't position it properly. You get the idea. So that's how simple it is to make your own paint job. So all you've got to do is download those two programs. Like I say, number one, you want Paintjob Packer, and again, the link will be down below. And you want a program like Gimp or similar that does .dds files, and then you can start painting trucks just how you like. And what I'll do now, as promised, is I'll show you, let's stay in there, how to change those images so that instead of that purple with writing image comes up, so that your image comes up. Oh, well, actually, what we'll do, before I forget, go back into the game. All right, and do this, and we'll take a photo. Put it there. This is just going to be rough. Take a photo, and then back to the paint program. And in that folder, open, we want to go back to I think it's demo. Yeah, demo. Now, so you can see there's a JPEG there. That's the mod manager image. So we'll open that. Open. Okay, it's 276 by 162. So now what we do is we open that image I just took, which is in your documents. When you take an image, it's in documents or screenshot, and then American Truck Simulator, and it's under screenshots. And then all your screenshots show up in here. We'll go down to the latest one, which was that one. We'll open it. So now that you've got that open, what you do, and you've got that image, you drag it across, drop it, whoops, not that one. You drop it on here. It will be way too big. So you press Shift S, and then you'll resize it. So you can see that's being resized. Now I always find the best way to get the size right is to, again, drop the opacity, whoops, on this, so you can see the purple thing underneath it, and that way you can size it roughly the right size. My mouse, be a bit. And then once you've done that, go over to your move tool, click on that, and position it correctly, which is like so with your arrow keys. It's about right. It's not perfect, but remember to increase your opacity so it's like that. Now we will save it, or sorry, export it as that image there. Okay, and make sure it's in your demo, and that's in the wrong one. So what we need is we need documents, American Truck Simulator, and we need mods. Whoops, did I go past it? Yes, mod. And we need the demo, and it's that one there. We export it now to there, replace it. Of course, now because it's a JPEG, that's a different window. We'll export it. Now what you'll do, and as you can see, it's there. So by doing what we just did, you now have that in the mod manager, so you know what your paint job is that you're using. Okay, so once you're back in the game, you'll notice if we go up to demo that you've still got that purple colored icon. So how do we put our truck in there? Well, so you may ask, we shall show you how to do that. What we do here is we go back to the paint program, and we go looking for that image in the correct folder, meaning it should be in documents, American truck, mods, demo, and now we're looking for, I think it's material that it's in. Yes, there it is there. So it's the icon.dds. It'll be the name of your paint job, space, icon.dds, okay? And I'll go back out so you can see where it is. Go into demo, or your paint job name, material, UI, accessory, and there it is there. And it's a .dds file, so it's not a JPEG, it's a .dds. So we open that, we say okay, and there it is there. All right, so now what we do is we will let's grab that image there. Whoops, grab it from here, sorry, and drop it on here because it's smaller now. So what we do now is we go Shift S to resize it. We'll make the opacity less so we can see that purple bit underneath. So we know that we're getting it roughly down to the right size, which that looks, whoops, pretty close. And then we'll get the move tool and we shall move that over here. We'll now do this using the arrows, bring it across. That's roughly where we want it. So we'll check our opacity, bring that back up. And as you can see, it's roughly in the right position. It could be longer, but for demonstration purposes, you get the idea. And then we'll go export as the demo and make sure it's in the right mod folder, which it is, under the correct name. We'll export it, replace, making sure again that all your configuration is correct. Export. Now, when we go back into the game, when we look at this, we've got to get out of there. Yep, no, there it is there. There you go. So now that has magically appeared there. So you can see that that's the paint job that you'll be choosing. Click, and there you go. All right, so it's that simple. So all that you need is Paintjob Packer and a program like Gimp that has access to .dds compilation files or whatever you want to call them, and then you can start making your own paint jobs. If you have any questions, guys, ask them either on the Discord channel or down in the comments below. And if you haven't subscribed, please do that also. It's free. You might as well. Helps me out tremendously. Don't forget about the VTC, Argy Bargy Transport. There it is right there. That's the logo. And if you're interested in joining that, there'll be a link in the description below as well. So hopefully you did enjoy it. Hopefully I explained it well enough. If I didn't, I apologize. If I did, hopefully it will help you. And if you did like it, we'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.